Hello, how's everyone doing this evening? I hope everyone's great. Tonight we're going to be doing something a little different than we normally do. We're going to be telling some campfire stories. These were actually recorded at 10,000 foot elevation in the Colorado Rockies during an expedition we did last year. The expedition was 7 days long, and during that time we had the parabolic running and other recorders, and we caught all kinds of interesting stories and tales told around the campfire. This round, it's just Shane and I. The main group had left us up there alone. We were in a remote area, almost a tree to a timber line, below some meadow ponds and other things. And we had a lot of Bigfoot activity around us, things being thrown into camp. But in the meantime, many stories were told and tales were revealed. A lot of private conversation. And what we're going to do during this deal is just kind of let it rock and let it roll and let you guys just hear the stories as they came out that night. So there's great encounters being revealed here and great understandings, and I hope you find it interesting as it was to tell these stories. So enjoy.
I think after he said at 3, no, maybe before. I can't remember. Anyway, he said around 2 or 3, yeah, somewhere in that range. Because I think he said he came in after. Jason said that happened at 3. I can't remember if he said he went in before or after that. I don't think he heard the alarm either. Shit, there's probably a looter or a fucking moon phase thing.
Yeah, it must be, because we've been here.
I don't even see
Up around.
I don't even see a glow. Wait a minute. Todd said he saw the moon today.
Oh, he did?
During the day.
Oh, shit.
Because all it's clear I can see the moon.
That may not come up till way later. Or
At all?
at all.
That's neat.
We're controlling the moon right now. It's going to put it wherever they want to.
Yeah. Oh, great. Nice moonless night. Enough of that.
Back there.
Okay.
Kind of fucking birds arguing.
Really? That's a good sign. Birds don't like making any noise. Unless something really disturbing. Because it gives away their position.
One's some kind of waterfowl.
Really? That's odd. Not for a BF to be mimicking. That'd be common.
It sounds like a bird web. In the wire.
I've had a lot of luck with that.
Yeah.
It's not like
Have you chopped your teeth yet?
should have whistled.
You did?
You know, I used to think I couldn't figure out what they were doing. It sounded for a long time. I couldn't figure out what the fuck they were doing. It sounded like just like when I tapped my. One day, me and Jesus Palin were on this bridge. The night I got hit by the rock. Standing on this little bitty walking bridge thing over flooding and some Russian olive. And I tapped the pipe, the glass pipe of my life. Well, it's the same sound.
Yeah.
Back out of the ocean. About hell. Here to the trees where I hung the thing. And it's like, fuck me. What's he tapping? It took me a little forever to figure it out. So I climbed off the bridge, meat crawl, and then through the marshy shit. And I got over under and I belly crawled. Underneath the Russian olive met the grass. You know? And it was on a rise like this, like a little marshy grass under the bridge. I went along off the bridge, went along there. Belly crawled up under there. Heard movement. And like flat, like swishy movement, nothing hard. And then I got a little farther and I felt the ground, it was warm. He was sitting right there. He only moved about 7 feet. Jesus Beyond went around the trees and came back. He's on the sand road and he looked through there at the moonlight. He looked through there. He just, I seen him. Fucking moonlight straight up. You could tell what the fuck. And I went, Jesus, it's me, dude. And he raised his arm and he was pointing. And I crawled out and he kept pointing.
Oh,
he crawled out and he looked back and there was a fucking silhouette back there. The fucker was sitting there, he just slid down into the deeper, and he was standing, and he was about the same height as I was up on the hill sitting where he was. And he didn't move. The meeting, I had no light. And it was full moon out there, but underneath there it was all dark.
Yeah, all dark, yeah.
And I could see out real well, but I'd never looked around behind me, or I would have fucking seen the solar light that's up there. But they were clicking their teeth. Then they started doing it to each other, and I realized they can't all have two little perfect rocks or something.
Yeah.
So, and it sounded just like the tip of my lighter on a glass pipe.
Yeah.
And they were, and Dad was like 70 feet back, I guess just hanging out, and the boys were fucking with us.
Yeah.
And then hit us with a rock. He never got up, but I crawled behind him at one point. He also infrasounded me. When I went toward a little one, he thumbed the fuck out of me. It fucked me up pretty good. Then I went back in by myself again. And I crawled up, belly crawling Sand Road, and I could hear him. And I guess he was sitting down on the slope, and then there's all this bramble in front of me. So the infrared can't see him, but you can hear him on the camera. And he's making a bunch of noise. He's huge. But I couldn't see nothing but like black and brambles in front, and then moonlight completely through. So I could see moonlight coming through all that from the ground out there.
Yeah.
And his fucking silhouette was massive, dude. And he was like, I was on the ground, and he was like fucking, like where those trees are. And there was foliage, like where the fire is. And then there was a little bit of grass and leafy stuff from the Russian olives. And I'm on the sand, and I'm thinking, I can almost get to that,
Yeah.
Shove it, almost get it was thick. And I got in the grass, started going forward, and I hit the edge of that grassy leaves. And he didn't even react fast. He just goes, he's like sitting down. He goes, and just walks away from him. I got to see the fucking shoulders and head go up and do this fucking rock. And his fucking was this wide, dude. He was huge wide. And he lumbered up. And you hear him on the camera. You can hear the weight. You hear him move off. And I was only like 15 feet behind him. But he'd already infrastumped me, and he still wasn't being a dick. And he went off that way and sat down, and me and I went and got Junebug. Said, come the fuck in here with me. And we crawled in together and got in there with him. That never spooked.
Yeah.
But the one I moved, I crawled in with, probably that tall, he stayed there. And then we're flashing the camera around, and when you look at it, we're getting eye shine like 8 feet. He's laying right there where that drop-off is, right in front. We're laying here. He's laying there looking through.
Everybody watching each other.
Yeah, and then we kept hearing movement to our left. Here comes one up. And in the moonlight, we're watching this fucker all stretched out. You can see him against the back, but then there's a white sand road. So he'd come all the way out and part me on that road. You really see his arms and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he was long, man, and he wasn't getting off the ground that fucking high. And he was coming up and down, and then he came all the way out. You see Junebug reach back, because I'm filming behind him, start to grab his knife. He starts pulling it out. See my hand go up, slide the knife back in, push it back in. I told him, if he comes out, dude, I said, you go behind me, I'll take the hit. I don't know why I fucking said that. And then, sure enough, it wasn't like a few seconds later, you hear me say, he's coming up, he's coming out on the road. So we're looking at it, and all you see in the infrared is this post, the white sand road. Here comes eye shine, big eyeball. And you see a bunch of ocular refraction before this, but then he just looks right at us. There's a white post about that tall, and his eyes come out about this much below it. It's about that big around, and an eyeball comes out behind the post, way out there, and wham, we get fucking nailed. And then the eyeball slides back. And he hit the fucking thing. When I stood up, I had to rock, and I even asked him, like, did you throw that? He's like, he's far from me, and hits me like a baseball, just what I said. Did you throw that? He's like this. No, man, because it striped his ass. It would have he was getting up, it would have pulverized the size or my camera.
Damn.
And then I had the rock. It stuck right there, man. And I told him, I caught it. I fucking got it. And I stood up and I went, okay, like loud. Okay, you guys, that wasn't fucking cool. That could have hurt me. I know if I throw this fucking rock back, it'll hurt you too. And when we started backing up. And eye shine on the video, Blurry is trying to focus. His eye shine comes up. Eye shine comes out from that one that I went into. Because I guess it turned into a bad moment. He comes out, and Einstein joins him. And as we're going back, you see the camera going down, and there's 3 separate Einstein. We could see the fuckers on the sand road, and we're laughing, backing up, and they're following us out on the sand road. And then they quit after a second, and fucking we went back. We were all fired up. I was like, you could see it. It's like, I tell people, yeah, you want to run with us? Come on out, motherfuckers. And we went over to J.C. Johnson, Jack Carey, Jesus Payon, all them were at the fire. And we were back around to those guys and fucking told them what was up. And it was pretty trippy. They had already seen the big male.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see him there. And that's when me and Jesus went down. He wouldn't go in with me. He stayed on the footbridge, and I went down where they saw it, where the big male was laying. Because he was laying across this little marshy thing behind a log. And the log was about this tall. And that big motherfucker fit behind that log. They couldn't see his body. You see his hands and his head. And his head was, his eyes, this is no exaggeration. His eyes were like that. And his head's like this. This big old fucking massive thing. And he's only got his eyes and the top of his head and his hands. And the rest of his body is down somehow like flat. And J.C. Johnson, George, Jack, them guys seen it. And I hate to say it, I love you, J.C. J.C. didn't want to fucking go out there no more. He said, all right, that's good, we're good. And they went back to the fire. And then that's when I went in by myself because I didn't get to see it. And Jesus, I'll go with you. We went to the little bridge. And I said, all right, I'll go down there. And when I got down, I was looking at my light at that point. And there was all these padded out areas. No, I didn't see them yet. No. I went down there in the dark and went to the big log. There was no motion and no movement. And I was like, all right. So then, this is really weird because I don't know where they were during that. Because when I got infrapounded, I went in alone after that, and they were in there. And then, but anyway, I went down there and came back to Jesus, and that's when we opened the hole on the bridge, and we started clicking back there. It's like they didn't want to move away; they were kind of interacting. But that one got scared. I guess. That was a dick thing to do.
Yeah.
It was probably doing. Tell you, if it wasn't just the right situation. If it hit here, or it would have broke the bones, it would have broke your arm, it would have killed you if you hit the fucking head. So it was too tight.
Good aim, too.
Yeah, it's sidearm. There's no way he could have thrown it any other way but sidearm with one arm.
I can't throw overhand.
Oh, fuck. All I thought about, man, if they really wanted to put it into it, if he's just like this, and it's pitching fast, man, it's, pound and a half rock. I mean, it ain't no little baseball. And fucking, he pitched that so fucking, almost like that, just hard enough to lame an animal, really fucking animal up.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then the next day, we were getting ready to leave. It's funny as hell. There's all these giant cottonwoods, they're like 50 foot tall. And Jesus down there, it's pretty nice, white Suburban. And it's sitting there, and we're all standing around talking. It's like 10:30 in the morning. Broad daylight, everybody's done, we're jamming. Oh wow, that was bad.
Yeah.
A rock hits the fucking up in the tree, takes a branch out of the tree, falls down and bounces on top of Jesus' fucking truck, dude, and bounces off, dents the top of the truck, the branch falls. And I was like, son of a bitch. And I looked, tried to figure out where that rock came from. And I figured I tried to get my best guess, and I fucking huffed that motherfucker back. They all got mad at me. What are you doing? Give us the one you should have kept the rock. Like, fuck them, man. So it came in from, and we got the San Juan River, it's like 60 foot across right there. And you got a bunch of real thicket of Russian olive. And the other side's like where we were, and all in the stuff, and fucking some big cottonwood that's way down there. Thinking, where the fuck did this come in from? Like, I didn't think he threw it from in there because I don't think he could see us from in there. And it came in like way up there. And he had to throw it a long fucking way. That was pretty impressive. And it came with enough velocity to knock a branch out about the size of my index finger. Cottonwood. And that was cracked up there. And we were just standing there talking. And just like, incoming. And he didn't have to do that. On that one, on the way in, I was pretty proud. He got there, and I told him to stop at this one place because it's a private land on the San Juan River. They have a frisbee throwing course, and you can fly fishing, but there's no hunting. nothing like that. And so we pulled up to a place, and the road was kind of near the river. And I looked over, and there was a place you could camp, and there was some trucks there. I told him, stop, stop, stop. So let's just check this out. We got off right there by where the river, and the grass is all out and some stuff. And I could see you could see where padded shit had come up and like would hang right below the road right there. I said, I bet you money that they cross here and check these cans. I bet you anything. And so I went down below, and right there was a fucking 2 young ones' poops. One was like an infant poop made out of like algae and shit, right there. And then another one had little poops about the size of my finger. And they looked right. And they had the one the size of my finger had Russian olive in it. But the little one was just algae poop. And I told them, you know what? It looks like to me, they got a young one and a baby. And it looks like they parked them right fucking here. And they go raid the can and come back and get them. And so we were in there a little while. And all of a sudden, dude, out of the fucking thicket, across the river, out of the thicket. And you got the river rippling, but it's not super noisy at all. It's a little, you can hear it, trinkly, ripply. Out of there comes fucking laughter of a baby. No. Yeah, it was like not like, ha, ha, ha. It was like you know that giggle little infants do? Mm-hmm. It was loud. And then came laughter, like a woman's like laughter, out of the middle of there. And Jack looks at me and goes, you fucking called it, dude. Yeah. That's a baby. There ain't no babies out here. So it was really good. And Blue Jack's mine, like Jack had to be like the world's greatest fan. And it was true. They had a little one out there, man. Nobody's tight. Cool. And no, there's no babies in the Russian olive.
Yeah, of course not.
There's not. So.
And then the mother laughing too?
It was the cutest thing you ever heard, dude. It was he chuckled and she laughed. It was the cutest, that little baby chuckle, that little fucking deal. It was so, I just heard a snap. It was so perfect. Nothing recorded, of course.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was the best. And then that baby chatter we got a few 6 months ago or whatever sounds just like a baby to me.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he's trying to say a word or words, but he chatters it. It's not any known animal I can think of, because the chatter isn't, it's like he's saying words, like he's trying to. It's really cool. And it goes up and down but it's like baby chatter. It's like, I swear to God, it's just like that Bigfoot language you hear coming out of a baby. And there was one doing a turkey mimicked, and he did a raven. And then we got that baby chatter all out of this thicket. And then when we returned home, we got some pretty good howls on the way out. But that was all GLST. So
GLST.
That's at Galisteo stuff. That's my one that we can go to anytime. That's where I go with the family unit, and Mom and George and Amos and Jasper and stuff.
That's in Nabisco also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's south of Santa Fe, 20
So that's not the lodge.
No. That's the Sandia Mountain. And then the Galisteo is a river basin. And the Galisteo drains out of the Pecos Wilderness, which is the southern foot of the Rockies. So they're called the Santa de Cristo Mountains there, and that's actually the southern end of the Rocky Mountains. And that's where they're at. They come into that river basin. That's where. It's the coolest place to go research there is, because it's just right there.
Sounds like a cool place.
Easy to get to. It's 5-minute walk at the most. You can park, do all you want to do, go crawl all through there. Nobody says shit. Everybody walks that river with their dogs and goats, but I guess not down there by the Army Corps of Engineers stuff. That's where they like to hang out when they have water. And Bob said, you got to get down here because it's flowing all the way. They got water all the way down. Which means they're in there, and they love to, when they're in there, they vocalize, they goof off in the swamp, because they're real protected. You can't get in there after them. I don't know why the Department of Energy even has that land, to be honest. I don't know what they're running there. Good boy, bro. You stay with your dad. Good boy.
Okay, that's going to do it for tonight's cut. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank our patrons for making all this possible. All the gear and the time that's spent into this is just, it's incredible. And they may not be able to cover it all, but they do knock a portion off, at least keep the internet bolting on and keep us hooked up and connected so we can get this stuff and manage it. So just thanks to everyone for showing up, and have a great evening.